G'day folks, Ned back at you here. Familiar machines back again, the Can-Am 650 XT 2008. Got a few new problems, nothing that broke from what we fixed last time, but a couple of things. First off, customer snapped off the ignition key. Problem with that is, these have that anti-theft system, similar to what modern cars have, so there's an RFID chip in here. So without that, it doesn't want to start. Second thing is out hunting. Had to use four-wheel drive, put it in four. Now it won't come out of four-wheel drive. Most likely, the switch on the handlebars, they get corroded sometimes, and the other possibility is the four-wheel drive actuator, which is down on the engine itself. Hopefully it's not that, because that's pricey, but first we can just hopefully clean. Stick around and we'll see how we do it. Well, the first challenge is to see if we can get this key out. It's not going to be that hard to get a key out. There we go. Okay, so there's the working guts. You see there's only two little tumblers. It relies on that RFID chip to do its job. And the RFID chip is in this busted up top piece here. There's your little chip. Okay, the next thing we're going to deal with is this switch. I don't know how I'm going to test it without a working key. You get power on this. You see, that machine will not start because the RFID chip is over here. I don't think it'll jump across time and space to make itself work. See if we hold it there, what happens. I'm hoping we get power to the four-wheel drive system here with this. Because right now, this is going to suck otherwise. We get power to the room. So we have power to accessories. Alright. Let's pull this sucker apart. To me it is, what size is that? 4mm Allen heads. I take the 3 Allen screws out of your control here. Oh, it's your entire throttle assembly. And I was looking on parts and I can't seem to find just the switch, which of course makes sense because they want to sell you an entire throttle assembly for 160 bucks US. So let's see if we can fix this switch. Even though it ain't my money, I have a hard time wasting other people's. 160 bucks for a switch is a little crazy. I miss the days when you just pulled the lever, put things in four-wheel drive. I don't know why, they always work. They didn't work, you put a little grease on them and put them back together and then they would work. Okay, so there's the top, that's what we're looking at. And you can see there's been some water in here. The screws are a little rusty. I had this apart when we did the thumb warmer in that, and I lubed all this side up. That's fresh grease in there. Good and clean. Lots of grease still. But I didn't look at the switch side because there was nothing wrong with it. Okay, so what we got here, that's our switch. Okay, for four-wheel drive. There's 2 Phillips screws here, and another one that holds the wiring harness in, and a little rubber seal. Okay, they're tiny little screws. So if you're working outside, be careful you don't drop them in the grass, or you're never going to find them again. I like magnetic screwdrivers when you're using on little screws like this. Okay, so there's your switch. Pull the little rubber seal out, get rid of the top. You can see, I don't know if you can see it or not, there's a little bit of rust in here, so water's definitely been getting in there. We'll seal all that up for them. Okay, so your actual switch, fortunately these are one that you can take apart. There's two Phillips here where the wires go in. Just pull those out. Same thing, tiny little screws. Okay, both screws are out. You can just pull your head off. Be very careful because those are spring loaded in there. And they are tiny. Okay, so what you got here, yeah. This is absolutely filthy inside. There's no way those contacts are doing anything. There's supposed to be 5 contacts here, copper contacts, and they are filthy. And on this side, you've got your little pillow block that slides back and forth, and then there's 2 little spring-loaded contacts, and they're dirty as well. Those are what you really got to be careful of. You turn this over, those contacts fall out, and these tiny, tiny little springs will come out. So let's get to cleaning some of this up. And I'm just going to use a carb cleaner here to start with. Already you can now see the copper contacts. Okay, they're still pretty bad, but at least we can see them and they're not full of water. Yeah, I'm just going to use a, I don't even know what that is, 1000 grit, fine, super fine sandpaper. I don't want to damage anything in here, I just want to clean it up. Okay, you can see it's actually clean in there now. Alright, just a little bit cleaner. Okay, you can see there's a few spots with some deeper scores, but that'll be fine. So now we just got to go deal with the spring-loaded switch ends. Okay, so there's the guts of our switch, and now they're not too bad, but there's the guts of it. 2 tiny little springs and 2 copper connectors. Okay, on the back side, you can see here all that's going on. There's just a little pin that slides it back and forth on that channel in there. So this part is okay. We're going to clean it up a bit. I mean, it's just plastic. Okay, so you can see the little pin and the slide in there. I greased it up a bit so it'll slide nice and smooth. And we just slide that sucker back in. All right, you can see how that action works. Your springs go into here and here, and then your contacts just slide in there. Nothing holds them in. It's pure just spring pressure pushing them out. So we can go ahead and put our springs back in. I just love dealing with these tiny little things with my sausage fingers. But that's what it takes to save a buck. Okay, so you can see how your springs sit in there. And now we're just going to clean up this side, not that side. I'm going to clean up the top part of our connectors. I mean, they're just copper. You don't need to go, take a grinder to them or anything. A couple of seconds with some fine sandpaper. Shiny as all be. Okay, nice and clean. And to put those back in, okay, the U part down. So they sit in like that. And they're spring loaded. And they're interchangeable, there's no difference left and right. I'm thinking we're pretty good shape here now. Let's put that switch back together and see what we get. You got a little metal plate here, so you always know which way is up. It's got a cutout that hits the plug a certain way and the screws are offset, so you can't really screw it up. And that just pushes on like so. Hold it while you start the screws. This is where you got to be careful. If you lose those little springs, you may as well just throw the switch away. I mean, I'm sure you might be able to adapt something, but it'll never work quite right again. And they don't got to be super tight. Okay, so you got a rubber boot here. Make sure that's down all the way and not torn, so that's not the source of water getting in. I'm going to turn this key on and see if I can test it without that RFID chip. On. We have lights. Hey, what do you know? I don't know if in all that rain you can hear that or not, but that's a good sound. That's that actuator working. Thumbs up. Free fix. No money spent. All right. We're going to put some grease in here. Try to keep this thing a little more sealed than what it is right now. Okay. Assembly's pretty simple, obviously. Reverse order. All right. Well, since I can't start it to test it, I jacked up the back wheels, and right now it's in neutral, and we're in four-wheel drive. Two-wheel drive. Four-wheel drive. So we fixed that. Okay, well there we are. Half of our fixes are done. We weren't able to do much about this RFID key today. These things are a little bit out of my area of expertise. So as far as I'm aware, the only thing you can do with that is throw it out and get a new key switch in the whole 9 yards. I don't know exactly what's involved, but I'm going to look into it and figure this one out. Four-wheel drive switch. Easy fix, saves a bunch of money. I could not find just the switch online anywhere. They want to sell you this entire control unit, the throttle assembly, the switch, and the wiring harness. Comes out, the cheapest I've seen is $164.99 US dollars. So, being able to pull that switch apart and clean it up is probably the best thing that could happen, because that was a free fix. It just took time. Hopefully that helps somebody out there deal with your switch before you go replacing anything else. You don't even need to run a tester. Just pull the switch apart real quick and look at it. You can see if it's dirty or not. Well, that's it for today on this one. Real quick, short video. Hopefully this helps somebody out there. We'll look into the key and we'll give you an update on what's going on with that. Anyway, hey, do a fellow a favor. Subscribe. Doesn't cost you nothing. These videos, they ain't free to make. Takes my time, slows me down. It takes me hours to upload because I'm on country internet. And I do all my editing and stuff myself, so this does cost me a lot of time. So it would really help me out if you subscribe. It would help me bring more videos to you. Stuff costs money to do in here, you know. It ain't free.